start the recording in progress. All right. So you guys all click your got it's and we'll be good to go. Thanks so much for coming today. This was super impromptu. Ola kind of told me that I needed to do it. She was like, we need a training. And she bossed me a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. She didn't. But we just decided this would be a good idea. We're coming up on a big call that we never saw coming. And it was kind of a blessing in disguise. I know everybody was a little bummed. Like, if you're being honest, we were a little bummed when we found out we couldn't invite to the call last night, and we all had to take our stories down in our posts. But it was actually a blessing in disguise because we got our own call, and that's a big deal. As a bronze team, it's a big deal. So we are going to count our blessings. We're all, whether you're watching this live or you're watching the recording, we're all going to commit, which is what we're going to talk about here in a little bit. We're all going to commit to doing our part to getting as many people as possible on this call. And there is a reason that I will tell you at the end why they will need to be on the call and not watching the recording. There will be a perk to being on the call at the time of the call that I will tell you guys at the end. But I'm going to talk about that a little more. Let me get my screen pulled up. All right. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that the prettiest little thing you ever saw? All right. Today, we're going to talk about inviting to calls. This is one of those things that you think about it to yourself. You think, all right, I'm going to send somebody an invitation to a call that we're doing next week. As we're going to get to here in a few minutes, that is our system. Like, that is the system, is inviting. But sometimes if this is your strength, you just assume other people know the best way to do it. But if it's not your strength, you're kind of left out in left field going, I don't want to say anything because everybody's acting like they know what they're doing, but I could really use some pointers. So we're going to talk about posture. This is one of my favorite topics in the entire world. We're going to talk about how we communicate to the people that we're inviting, and we're going to talk about talking points. I know you guys are all expecting me to give you some magic verbiage to invite to this call, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to give you talking points, but you are going to create your verbiage. Now, I will be happy to share with you. Like, forward you a voice memo that I send somebody, but it's going to be so important, as you're going to see here, it's going to be so important that your message, your invitation is not only unique to your own personality, but also tailored to the individual that you're sending it to. Because if it's not, it's going to sound crazy. It's not even going to sound like you. The person's going to read it and go, oh my gosh, it's a copy and paste message. And I almost did it yesterday. I was doing some written messages on Instagram yesterday. I know Brittany said she sent some of these out, and I'm not opposed to written messages, but I think for this particular call, and I'm going to explain to you why, I think voice messages are going to be most advantageous. I'm not telling you that's what you have to do, but I think it's going to be most advantageous to do it this way. But I almost sent somebody a message yesterday boasting of how much our Australian market was booming, because I had just sent a message to somebody in Australia and she was in Canada. And I almost clicked it. And that's another risk you take when you copy and paste. I did do it yesterday. I sent somebody with the wrong name, and I unsent it as fast as I can. There is no worse feeling in the world than that pit in your stomach when you realize you've sent a message with the wrong name because you're copying and pasting. I've been there. I've done it. I did it yesterday after 7 years in this industry. And we're going to avoid that with this call. We're going to make people feel so super special, and we're going to compliment them. We're going to create excitement, and we're going to help them see why they need to be on this call. So what we're going to talk about today, I'm just going to intro myself a little bit for people who don't know me. There might be a couple people in here who don't know me very well, but I will go through that super, super fast because I feel like I know most of you. And then we'll move on to, that Instagram reel that's like super important. I understood the assignment. So I made that point too. You got to understand the assignment. You've got to understand what the task is, what you're hoping to accomplish here. We're going to talk about inviting itself and why it is your privilege and not your obligation. And I'm going to give you guys some homework. So we will speed through this pretty quick, and I'm hoping that we'll have time for some Q&A at the end. Q&A or just questions about, what we talked about, that kind of thing. So first of all, I'm Mandy, mom of 7, Lexington, Kentucky. Been doing this gig for about 7 years. This is my 3rd company by the grace of God and the grace of God alone. I locked arms with a company in 2015, quickly learned that I absolutely loved network marketing. I loved selling. Yes, you are selling. You're selling a product. You can say till the cows come home all day, I'm sharing, and you are. But as we talk more about posture, I want you guys to understand that you are selling something and you're not supposed to make apologies for it. I was just at Whole Foods picking some things up, and the man said, "What do you do?" And I said, I'm in supplement sales, specifically hemp. And I went with hemp, even though that's not like what I love to say when I talk about what Q is, but I went with hemp because I was at Whole Foods and that crowd. And I was super bold and postured myself. Well, we have a water soluble hemp that the body can actually absorb. So if you can take away anything I say today, it's going to be leading with boldness and confidence, and how you posture yourself when you do this inviting is going to be, it's going to be everything. I kind of talked about me a little bit. Yeah, I love this industry, and it's just been such a blessing to be able to grow. This industry has served as an incredible way for me to grow in the things that make me uncomfortable, to see sides of myself. My husband even says childbirth and network marketing are the 2 things he's seen come out of me, literal children, humans, and then what's come out in this process through my network marketing journey. That he didn't know was in there, that he didn't know existed. I chose Q because Q was different. That's it. They were different. They were not MLM grind, MLM hustle. Ola and I talk all the time about the Tony Robbins platitudes of teamwork makes the dream work, and how those platitudes are amazing. They're really great, but they don't tell you where to go or what to do with that information. Does teamwork make the dream work? Yes, but where do I go from there? What do I do? There's got to be more meat and potatoes to it. And that's what I love about Q. They teach us to be smart business owners. They teach us how to do this industry different and how to make this industry proud. That's what I love more than anything, teaching us to make this industry proud. And that's why we're here. That's why you are here. Almost all of you that I've had conversations with, you're a part of this because you want to do something different. Why does that keep happening? All right. Here is your assignment. We have a call next Tuesday. This is Mr. Jake Spencer. He is president and owner of Q Sciences. I don't know if you know his story here at Q. Mark Wilson, our CEO, in the early years of Q, Q started in 2012, and around 2017, I think it was, our CEO, Mark Wilson, realized that we had a good company, but he wanted it to be a great company. So initially he brought Jake Spencer on as a consultant. And I love the story. I love how the story's told. Jake came in and, sat for like a week and just watched, never said a word. And I think that's a key indicator of a really great leader is they listen. They take a lot of time to listen. And he saw everything, and he finally came back to Mark, and he said, basically, we got a lot of work to do. If you want to make this a great company, we have a lot of work to do. And inevitably, what came of that was Mark brought Jake on as the president of Q Sciences. Now, what I want you to see here is, I said facts don't care about your feelings. And I know that's a bold statement, but what I want you to understand about as we lead into this idea of inviting to this call, what I want you to understand is that if you're new to this, especially, or if you're not, maybe you're not new to this and you just have some mental roadblocks. And I've been having conversations with some of you about this idea of bugging people and following up, pestering people. Well, first of all, let me tell you something. If somebody reached out to you, you're not bugging them. You are simply doing your job. They reached out to you. There is a different way that we handle people who reached out to us versus people that we reached out to. That's a very, very distinct differentiation that needs to be made. The way that you will handle follow-ups with people who reached out to you is very different than the way you will handle follow-ups with people that you reached out to yourself that you had no idea if they had any interest in this. So facts do not care about your feelings in the sense that it might make you uncomfortable to reach out to people. Some of you came from a company with me that taught all attraction marketing. Attraction marketing, I hate to tell you, is most likely not going to get you where you want to go in your business. Will it take you somewhere? It absolutely will. Attraction marketing should 100% be a facet of how you run your business. You want to be attractive, and I don't mean good looks. You want to be attractive in the sense that you make you look good. You make what you're doing look good. You make our products look good. And that draws people to you. That creates the curiosity, that piques the interest. But you have a responsibility to, and I'm going to get to that here in a minute, of telling people about Q. So this is the time. I have a shirt. It says, facts are not, feelings are not facts. Just says it over and over again. Feelings are not facts. Feelings are not facts. Feelings are not facts. And it's so true. So I'm going to ask you guys over the next few days, as you start inviting to this call, message me if it gets uncomfortable. Message me if you need a pep talk. Message your upline if you need a pep talk. This assignment is going to pay off in dividends if you just follow what I say. You just have to trust me, okay? So the first thing I want you guys to understand is what a tremendous responsibility this call is. This is not the kind of call where, and this is not me putting Jake on a pedestal. This is not me, he wouldn't want me to do that. This is not me saying, oh my gosh, it's the president of our company. He's amazing. Like, I'm not going to put him on God status. But what I want you to understand is how busy he is. He's the freaking president of the company. And just because of a mistake that we made, whether or not we could invite somebody to a call or invite our people to a call, he immediately, you guys saw it. If you saw this go down in the storytellers chat, it was within 10 minutes. We had a date and a time that he was willing to hop on with our team, which means he sees something special in our team, because he wouldn't do that for just anybody. And I'm not just saying that. He really wouldn't. He is a super busy man growing a company that is set to quadruple in the next 5 months. So I want you guys to understand that inviting starts today. It doesn't start Sunday. It doesn't start Monday. And it certainly, I almost said sure as hey, does not start Tuesday morning. It starts now. And I'm going to tell you where to tap to start that inviting. It's important that we feel this call, and not just with ourselves, because we'll all be on it. I'm sure we'll get at least 20 people on this call, but that'll be us. And that's not what we're going for. It would be easy for a black diamond like Francesca to just mention this call and 100 people show up. Easy. We're going to have to work to get the people on this call. And I'm entrusting that responsibility to each of you. And we're going to talk about how to do that. Number 2, this is a growth process that requires a growth mindset. It's hard to reach out to people, especially if you haven't done it in a long time. But you know what I found out yesterday? I found out that when I made myself uncomfortable for a few minutes yesterday, because I had not been doing reach outs for a few weeks, and it just felt uncomfortable. I found that as soon as I got going, it got easier. And as people started to reply to me and say, you know, I'm already with this company and I'm happy, I said, okay, no biggie. And it got easier. The more you do it, it gets easier, but it's going to be hard at first. If you're not used to reaching out to people, if you're not used to, and you'll get paralyzed. Just know that it's part of the process. You're going to feel a semblance of paralyzation. You're going to feel, and you might need to reach out to me or your upline when this happens, because if you stay paralyzed, it ain't good, friends. It ain't good. You cannot stay paralyzed in inaction. You just can't. So if you start to feel paralyzed by who do I reach out to, contact your upline. And if I'm your upline, come to me. We'll help you. We'll help you figure out who to reach out to. And this is so important because we're set to quadruple over the next 4 to 5 months. Now, what I want you to understand about this, and we talked about this a lot in my last company, is people are going to hear about Q Sciences. Right now, if you went to a shopping mall and you said Q Sciences to 20 people, I can almost guarantee you one, if none, will have heard of it. We have heard of it because it's all over our social media newsfeed. So it's a little difficult for us at times to grasp that there are people who don't know what Q Sciences is. But you have to realize that almost like, don't ever come to me with, I feel like everyone on my friend list has heard about Q Sciences. I'll virtually slap you across the face. Like no, nobody has heard about Q Sciences. We have a less than 1% saturation. And my exhortation to you here is that people are going to start hearing about Q Sciences. They are going to hear about it eventually. And when they do, we want it to come from you. But if they just hear about it randomly, we want them to think of you. We want them to think of Kara. We want them to think of Carrie, Amy, Ola, Brittany. We want them to think Brandy, Jason. We want them to think, that's Jason that's been making all those posts. I think they're about Q Sciences. He's been doing this for a while now and he stayed consistent. There's going to be a key word that I'm going to talk about. He stayed consistent so that when those people finally do want to try Q Sciences, because they've heard all these other people are trying Q Sciences, they are going to think of Jason because he didn't back down. Even when he made a post and it only got 2 likes and they were from his mom and his sister, he did not stop sharing. Those are the people that are going to reap the benefits and the rewards and the success within this company. So that's our job. Why does it not want to flip? No, we're not going that way. All right. So inviting is the system. So this is one of those things that I want you guys to understand here is that we are not inviting to a call for this Tuesday. Inviting is what we should always be doing. If you are not inviting in your daily activity every day, at least 5 days a week, I mean, I'm not telling you to slave it away on the weekends and jeopardize your family life, but if you are not making inviting a part of your daily method of operation, you've missed the system. You missed it. And that's where we go back to peaking. And I've got it here. That's where you go back to your social media content, creating magnetic content that attracts people and piques their interest, reaching out to invite to calls. This is the foundation, you guys. It's the foundation and it's what we do. So here's what I want you to know. Inviting starts today. I already said that. Second is your posture. When you're inviting, when you're reaching out to people, when you talk about Q in your social media posts, when you have face-to-face conversations, what I want you to understand is that your posture is everything. If you reach out to somebody about our call on Tuesday night and you do actually do what I say and you send a voice memo and you say, hey, Sally, we're having this call Tuesday night. Yeah, it's one of those MLM things. But I thought maybe, and you're not making like, you're not like, so much can come off non-verbally, but you're not coming from a place of, oh my gosh, Sally, we got the president of our company to get on a call with just our team. This is an exclusive call. That is the proximity to leadership that we have in this company. On Tuesday night, you have to be there. There's going to be an offer for anyone who hops on that call, but you have to be there. I'm so excited. We're set to, we've been seeing all those numbers lately, like X million in 2020, 100 million in 2021, what we're set to do this month. You guys decide what you say, go wherever the wind takes you. But they say you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, but you have to have the right posture. You have to have confidence. You have to be bold. And if you need a good mindset shift kick in the pants, reach out to me and I'll give it to you. I gave it to somebody yesterday. Your posture is everything. You have the opportunity to attract people to Q Sciences. I don't care if you're not a top earner in this company. I'm not even close to a top earner in this company. Not even close. I'm going to have to work to get there, work my butt off. But people will come if your posture gets them excited. So your posture is everything. When you go to invite, you might say, who should I invite? I hope you've been keeping track of anyone who's reached out to you about Q. I hope you have a list either in the notes section on your phone, a piece of paper. If you're getting started, maybe you can go back through Facebook Messenger and be able to find all of those people. But if you do not keep a running list of the people in your funnel, and by funnel, we just mean, so picture a literal funnel. So at the top, it's super wide. And that's when you have people coming in and you're sorting them and you're like, okay, are they business? Are they product? Do they seem ready? Are they going to need more time? And then you start to get them towards the bottom of your funnel, which is super small. And that's where you close them. So that's your funnel. So you're going to go back to that list. You're going to go to anybody that you've talked to about Q at all, unless they have said no. I don't care if they said, I don't think I can order till May. I don't care. You go back to those people and you say, hey, I know you said that you probably would need to wait until May because that would be a better time for you. But just in case things have gotten, more doable, we are going to be having this call with the president of our company. I would really love for you to be on. You're going to hear product testimonials. You're going to hear financial testimonials, and you're going to get to hear from the president of the company. And I would love for you to be my special guest. I immediately thought of you. So you're going to go to all those people. You're going to also reach out. This is where I want you guys to really, if I was like a second grade teacher, I'd tell you to put on your thinking cap. You're going to really want to think about the people. Katie always says, if you can think of 3 people that if you brought them into your business today, it would change your business. You're going to get brave and you're going to reach out to those people. Some people call it a chicken list. You're going to reach out to those people. Please hear me when I say this. What do you have to lose? Like legit. What do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose. What's the worst that can happen? Some would say they'll say no. I would argue the worst that could happen is they might cuss you out and say, this is one of those pyramid things. I guess that's probably the worst thing that could happen. You know what you do? Do you know what you do in that situation? You don't go storming off crying. You go, I didn't want that person on my team anyway. That person was not a good fit. I don't want that person on my team. That's the worst that can happen is you get clarity on, man, they were my chicken lister, but I don't want them on my team anyway. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. Like legit, that stands true here. Let's talk a little bit about the narratives that we sell ourselves on. This is why I do coaching. This is why I do business coaching. I had this saved. Just one second. I had a few examples. I was like, okay, so some of the narratives that we sell ourselves on, these are the conversations that we have in our own head. Hold on, I need to drink water. These are the conversations we have in our own head. Do you know that you listen to yourself more than anybody else? You listen to yourself more than anyone else. So you have to be really careful what you say to yourself. And you have to tell yourself, you almost look like multiple personality syndrome or bipolar when you do this. And I don't mean that disrespectfully to anybody who suffers with those illnesses. I just mean you have to be willing to talk back to yourself, to ask yourself questions. You have to go, is what I'm thinking right now true? Am I just scared, or is that actually legitimate? Like, is that a legitimate concern or fear, or am I just blowing smoke up my own butt? You know what I mean? So some of the narratives that we sell ourselves on is price. They're going to think it's too expensive. I don't really need to go anywhere else with that. You and I both know, Melissa and I were having a conversation with somebody today. She didn't care how much it costs. She just wants to lose weight. Like you have no idea. You have no idea price. They won't be interested. Again, you don't know that until you ask. Do you have any idea how many people have reached out to me that I thought, whoa, that one really surprises me. I would have never thought they would have been interested. I can't share about a business opportunity call because I'm not making enough money myself yet. That is probably one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves. And the cool thing about that is you do not have to hinge the legitimacy of any opportunity on your own results. We're all just getting started. Do you know what you do? You tell them about your friend, Kara, who came in, a month and a half ago and is already hitting the 4th rank in the company and has a guaranteed income of X dollars a month. That's doable. That's what people want to hear. They don't want to hear Francesca Fields' story. They don't want to hear Brittany Hitch's story. I mean, do you get your people that like fly straight to the top? Sure, you absolutely do. But much more common is going to be the person who wants to come in and just know that they can get their fast start bonuses. Those are the stories you tell. I'm just getting started. Like you say, I'm just getting started, but my friend Ola just hit her 3rd rank in the company and got $750 in bonuses. Isn't that incredible in her first full calendar month? Isn't that amazing? That's what is life-changing for people. You don't have to hinge your invite on the testimony or the success of yourself. It can be. You can have an amazing product testimony, and maybe you already do, and that's what you tell people. But you can say, our team, like Francesca, you can go up. Don't ever be afraid to go up, because when you don't say my team, you say our team. It is your team. It is our team as a whole. Our team is having thousands of promotions every month. People are coming in here who have never been in this industry and having crazy success. Why? Because we're doing things differently. And when I heard about this call, like, these are talking points if you want to write this down. When I heard about this call, I immediately thought of you. I would love to have you take a look at what I'm doing. It would be such an honor for me, and I would love to get your feedback. I'm going to say that again. That's going to be a little repetitive when we get to talking points. And then lastly, guys, this is where we can get a little selfish in our business, and our selfishness is rooted in fear, but you don't get to decide for somebody else. In the same way that you don't get to decide if somebody's a customer or an ambassador because you're too afraid to share the business opportunity with them. If you are not sharing the business opportunity with every person that you talk to, you're doing them a disservice. I don't care if they come to you and they tell you that they want to lose weight and what can you recommend. If you do not find a way, and if you need creative ways to drop the opportunity into the chat that is very subtle and gives them an out without objection, I can help you with that. But if you do not share the opportunity with everyone you meet, you're doing them a disservice, because you don't know who needs this. And you're all doing a great job. You're doing such a good job of getting this into your stories and getting this in your posts. I'm seeing some of you that have never been comfortable posting about the business, never comfortable reaching out to people about the company. You're doing an amazing job. So please don't feel like I'm being judgmental about that right now. You're all doing an amazing job. But we, at the end of the day, do not get to decide for somebody else what they need. They get to make that decision. And that's just part of the invite process. Okay, let's talk verbiage and talking points. I said verbiage, but I'm not really giving you verbiage, but let's talk about talking points. All right. So one size fits all I have here. One size fits all is the enemy. And what that basically means, copy and paste. And that's hard for me, you guys. I'm super, super busy. I have a ton of kids. I have a lot of responsibilities. I struggle with my health. Man, my husband, oh gosh, hold on. That's my child. Let me tell him I'm on a call. I struggle. Oh, what are we doing here? I may have to go back to it. Yep. Sorry, you guys. Oh, I don't know why it's doing this. All right. There we go. Well, in that life. I just need to tell him I'm on a call so he doesn't call back. Okay. So copy and paste. That's really hard for me because copy and paste is really easy. It's so easy. All you do is plug in the name and hey girl it till the cows come home. And hey girl might sound like you. I know I've heard Katie say that she does say hey girl. That is her. Like, so, you know, people joke all the time about hey girl messages. Hey girl may actually sound like you. And if it is, go for it. Do it, but do it in your voice memo. For the purposes of this call, especially, I'm really going to emphasize voice memos. If you're not going to do it, you're not going to do it. And that's okay. You know, we work our way into what we should be doing. And I can't even promise you that all of mine will be voice memos, but I will try to make as many of them voice memos as possible. The reason for this is when you send somebody a voice memo, they get to hear you. They get to hear your tone of voice. They get to hear your inflection. These are all really incredible facets of communication. Let me use Ola, for example. The first time I ever talked to Ola, this was before I knew that she was a former radio personality. Now that you guys have heard from Ola, does it not make sense that she used to be on the radio? The first time she reached out to me, I thought she is an amazing communicator. The way that she communicates is it's just on point. Like she gets the point across. And she's very, like, she leaves you walking away from the conversation feeling better than she left you or than she found you. Like the girl knows what she's doing. So voice memos, what the perk here is, they're going to be super individualized to the person. You could record, you could record a voice memo and just forward it to everybody you were inviting, but you couldn't say their name. You couldn't say something that stood out about that person. You couldn't compliment them specifically. So I'm going to say, please don't do that. But you get to individualize it to the person. I'm also going to tell you to ask open-ended questions, because when you ask open-ended questions, not always, but most of the time they will get back to you because you've left them with a question that they feel like they need to answer. Does that work for you? Is that something that you would be interested in? Those are the types of questions that kind of leave it hanging. And even if they get back to you and they say, no, that's not possible, at least they got back to you. I mean, that's super respectful, and we can all appreciate that. So ask open-ended questions, and you guys, you can take screenshots of this, or you can take a picture if you're on your desktop. But just when you go to create your voice memo, and I don't know if you know this or not, but you can message yourself. Like, you can go to your Messenger app, click the create button, and type in your own name, and you can send yourself a voice memo to practice. Sounds silly, but it's super effective. And lastly, for the reminders, like as we get closer, like the morning of, copy and paste messages are fine. I'm not going to tell you to take all that time, especially like me. I have over 100 people in my funnel. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to be sending a second set of individualized voice memos. So I want a greeting that sounds like you. Just to hit these last 3 points, I want a greeting that sounds like you. Make the invite. That's the scary part. And then, so invite them to the call. That's what I mean there. That's going to be kind of the middle of your message. And ideally, I don't want you to lie. So if you don't have anything to say, nice, don't say it. But most likely there's going to be a reason why you invited that specific person to the call. If they're an influencer, you're going to say, I love following you on Instagram. I look forward to your posts. I love watching your stories. You have an amazing platform and I respect you so much. I would love for you to get your eyes on what I'm doing. Is that something that you would be interested in? If so, I'll send you the link. So compliment them. That makes people feel special. And it also verifies to them that it's not a stock copy and paste message. All right, here are your talking points. And I kind of hit this on the last one, but I just want to drive it home. So if you can see on the right, it's kind of a generic message that I sent to someone, but it worked. And you can see her response. I'd be happy to watch your video. Now I haven't heard back from her, so I need to follow up. We're going to follow up. So follow up is everything. Follow up is literally everything. That's not a point of this training, but follow up is everything. If you reach out to somebody and then you never follow up with them again, they're probably never going to join you, because even our system says multiple exposures. Like, people have to have on average 5 to 8. if not 10 to 12 exposures before they'll jump in to what you're doing. So sincerity is where you're going to start. I thought of you. You know, when I heard that we were going to be doing this call with the president of our company, you came to mind immediately. I love the idea of working alongside you, those types of sentiments. And don't say them if you don't mean them. Like if you don't mean it, only say what you mean. Because I used to get really annoyed in my last company. I just saw a grammatical error there at the bottom. There's 2 apostrophes on don't complicate it. That's going to drive me nuts, but I'll fix it after the call. It used to really annoy me in my last company. I had a friend who would train on corporate call, and she would say, hey, Susan, I really love your black dress in your photo on Instagram. Well, what if I don't like your black dress? I'm not going to say it. I do not like disingenuine communication with other people. If you don't like Linda's dress, I don't know if I said Susan or Linda, whatever. If you don't like Linda's dress, I just think I said the opposite name. If you don't like the chick's dress, don't tell her that you like it. Find something you do like. I love your posts. I love your stories. Your kids are adorable, but just make sure you mean it. And that's nothing and here's the thing, it's an integrity issue. They'll never know. They'll never know you didn't like their dress, but you will. And just be that person. Just be honest. That's one thing Jake always says, don't lie to me and own your crap. That's all he asks of his ambassadors. Don't lie to me and own your crap. Timing, you're definitely going to want to say we're set to quadruple in the next 5 months. You're going to want to talk about timing. This shouldn't be hard. You've probably seen a million posts. Set to quadruple this 1,200% growth since 2018, I believe. 26 countries and counting. You can find this verbiage everywhere. All you have to do is go to somebody's post, and if they didn't post it today, they probably posted it 3 days ago. Heck, go to my page. Projected company growth. You can say we're one of the fastest growing teams in the company. Are we the fastest growing team in the company? No, not even close. But are we a very fast growing team in the company? Yes. And that is marked by our spots on the leaderboard. So don't even doubt that for a second. Ola highlighted that the other night. Some of you would do really well to highlight that as well. Let me update. I'll check after the call and see where we stand. But those are amazing posts, because what those posts do is they create FOMO. And not only do they create FOMO, they ensure the people who are watching us that we're not lying to them. We're not deceiving them. Like, here is black and white evidence of where we stand in the company. And in my last company, I don't mean to keep saying in my last company, I'm just using examples. Number 370 would not have looked good. It was an extremely small company, but we have over 70,000 ambassadors here. We're growing rapidly. So to be number 370, like, don't post it just because it's number 370. Like 370 out of 70,000, that's a big deal. And then lastly, proximity to leadership. It's always, sometimes people, especially if you're getting bold enough and brave enough, and I really want you guys to reach out to influential people, they want to know the proximity that you have to leadership. So even saying things like, I work with my friend Katie, she serves on the councils. We are doing this call with Jake, obviously, and I work with Francesca Fields, who is the number 2 or 3 earner in the company. I don't remember, 2 or 3, one of the top 3 earners in the company. People love that. You just have to know who you're talking to. Some people, and just, this is not in the presentation, but let me just say here too, try to get in the head of the person you're reaching out to. There's like 4 or 5 reasons why people join a network marketing company. One is product. So if it's somebody that's completely product driven, are we going to dismiss that they might be interested in the business? No. Like I said, you don't get to make that decision for them. But the comment of proximity to leadership is probably going to mean a lot more to somebody that has been in network marketing before, that has been in another company, that always felt super far removed from leadership. It's going to mean a lot more to those people. So just know your audience and think, Is it going to turn them off if I talk about money and leadership and la 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 la? Or is that something that they would really want to hear? At the bottom, I say be bold, be confident, know what you have to offer. You have something really great to offer people. Don't be afraid to share it. I mean, like, I know these are things that are easier said than done. Guys, I'm not even kidding you for a second. The minute you can get over yourself and say, I don't care what that person says about me. I love the waitress analogy. The waitress analogy is probably my favorite analogy in network marketing. When a waitress comes to your table and asks you if you want more coffee and you politely decline, she does not run to the bathroom crying. She just knows that you did not need more coffee. You were not rejecting her. You were rejecting her offer. So it's no indication or bearing on you as a person. They just didn't want what you had to offer. But guess what? The next time they circle back around, they might want coffee. And that person might, I mean, my husband's a huge coffee drinker. The waitress comes by, do you want coffee? No, I'm good. She comes back next time. Do you need a fill up? Yes, thank you. You don't know when they're going to say, yes, I do want coffee. And furthermore, you may just have to offer what it is they are wanting, because I don't ever want coffee, but I sure as heck want dessert. So if you come at it from a different angle, somebody's radar might go up and you're definitely going to pique interest there. So keep that in mind. Simon Sinek, he's one of my favorites. I love, if you ever want to be super motivated and inspired, check out his video on YouTube called Consistency versus Intensity. And, I can't remember the other one. I know his book is called Start With Why, but I can't remember the name of the other one. But if I find it, I'll let you know. He says, if your actions, and this is an introspective look. I know it's kind of not super on topic with inviting, but I want to talk a little bit, not talk about it, but I just want you guys to see this. The leadership is not something that I am just because I'm your upline. Leadership requires an action. So you have the opportunity right now, as you position yourself as the expert, as you posture yourself with boldness and confidence, as you invite confidently, and as you close, and you will. I believe that. You are posturing yourself as a leader, and you're evolving into that leader that you want to be. And he says, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you're a leader. That's what makes you a leader. And I don't care if you're leading one or if you're leading 10,000, that's a leader. All right. So lastly, there will be something announced on that call by Jake. I already know what it is. I already know the stipulations. I think Katie is going to share more of that with you guys in the chat thread. That will, like I said, it will only be available to the people on that call. So it's very important that you state that in the invitation. Now, it's hard because there will be people who already have plans, but that's why I'm going to tell you to start reaching out now, because they may not have plans right now, but if you wait till Sunday to message them, they might have plans. I'll try to get a graphic out to you guys as soon as possible. There's a little bit of a downside to starting to invite this early because you don't want them to forget or lose excitement, but we'll do reminders. We're going to do a challenge. We'll just have like a countdown, like for every 25 people we invite, I'll draw like an Amazon gift card. I'll probably start that over the weekend, and there'll be prizes that go along with that. Do I have anything else here? No, that's it. All right. So I'm going to stop my share. And then if you guys have any questions, they do not have to necessarily be, it's probably preferable that they're about this topic, but, cause we'll do other trainings, but, anything that comes to mind, any roadblocks, how do I help my people? Anything like that, now's the perfect time to ask.
So I have a question. So since we are so far away from the date of the actual event, would you suggest maybe giving them something to look at now to keep their interest peaked up until that point? Like I think it was a 9-minute video or whatever, just talking about why Q now?
I do that when I do my reach outs, like the reach out that I sent Brittany yesterday to send to people, and I think I texted it to messaged it to anybody who asked me. I included that in the message. And the reason why I do that is because if I have found that if I ask people, can I send you a link of this 9-minute video? A lot of them will never get back to me about it. But if I just send them the link with my message and just say, in case you're interested, here's a quick 9-minute video talking about why now is the perfect time to partner with us. Curiosity killed the cat. A lot of times people are going to click on that, and there are probably going to be people out there who disagree with me about this, and that's okay. We all run our businesses differently, so do whatever you're comfortable with. But I have had a ton of success, not I just mean a ton of success with that invitation aspect, because people will be so curious, they'll click on it, and it's a very good video, and they'll watch it. So
when I watched that video in the beginning, it really piqued my interest to keep watching the other couple videos you had sent me. So that's why I thought it might be a good leeway into the event.
Yeah. And that's why we're doing our reach outs now. I don't even care if you mention the event today in your reach outs. And then when they follow up with you or you follow up with them, oh, by the way, we're having this call Tuesday night. Do whatever you think is best. That might be the best way to position it. The reach outs you do through the weekend. Now, if they're follow-ups, I'd just go ahead and tell them about the call. Like if there's people that you've had conversations with about Q, I'd probably just tell them about the call, get them super excited. And when that little short window of time that I had that post up yesterday, the people in my funnel started messaging me and saying, send me the link. So I would definitely do that. And it's going to be, if you've got a lot of people in your funnel, this is going to be a little time consuming. Like set aside an hour, 2-hour block to message these people. Anybody else? Oh my gosh, I totally thought there would be like a million questions.
Okay, I'll ask another question. So in one of the talking points you mentioned about asking open-ended questions. So what kind of open-ended questions are we positioning ourselves with that way? Are we asking about what they're looking for, like they're looking for extra money, that kind of thing?
I mean, that would be a good open-ended question with somebody who reached out to you.
Okay.
Like because if they've reached out to you, then they've obviously done it for a reason. Sometimes they'll tell you. I would say oftentimes, most of the time, they'll probably tell you why they reached out to you in that first message. But I don't know. I get a lot of messages saying, hey, are you with Q Sciences now by any chance? Or, hey, what company are you with? So yeah, that in that situation, they've reached out to you, but they didn't tell you why. I say all the time, I say, yeah, it's Q Sciences. I'm trying to think of how I say it. Yeah, I've partnered with Q Sciences. Tell me a little more about you. That's a really, really good open-ended question because it's very broad. Tell me a little more about you. Here's my favorite line. What prompted you to reach out to me? And if somebody puts me in a 3-way chat, I always say, tell me a little more. What prompted you to reach out to Kara? And that opens the portal. I mean, everybody loves to talk about themselves. I mean, and I don't mean that in an ugly way. I just mean if they reached out, they have a reason why something they're wanting to work on, whether it be finances or health. That's a great open-ended question. If it's about the call, I just like to ask them for, what do you call it? Doing the ask or getting the ask, or you've asked, you've said, is that something you would like to do? Or I'm trying to think of a better way to say it than that. Can I count? Like, please do not go, can I count on you? Can I count on your support? You can position it from really respecting them. That's one of the samples that I think Katie gave us was, I really respect you and I would love to get your eyes on this and get your feedback about what it is that I'm doing. That's a really great message that I think I shared with you guys. I can put it in the boards app too. That I shared with you guys yesterday. That would be a really great message if there's somebody you're afraid to reach out to, and you're gonna compliment them. They're gonna walk away from that conversation going, she really cares if what I think about this. Like, because she's even said, it may or may not be for you. please write down it may or may not be for you. Like if you remember, I mean, there's a few things I'd love for you to remember what I said today, but I'd really love for you to remember it may or may not be for you. Because when you tell somebody it may or may not be for you, like you are giving them the out. People talk all the time in this industry about objections. It may or may not be for you removes the objection before there is an objection. They can't have an objection. So that's an incredible one. That's not a question, but it removes an objection. Yeah, those are some of the examples I thought of.
So I have another one. I'm sorry. So you mentioned that you were having a conversation with someone at Whole Foods and you brought up that you're with a company that has hemp products. So as someone who's kind of new with Q and the products, and there's a whole wide range of products, are you tailoring that conversation that, what you're talking about in regards to what that person wants?
100%. I was at a hippy dippy supermarket and I just thought, what can I say that might make him ask more questions? And I said, I'm in hemp sales. I didn't say I work for a network marketing company called Q Sciences. Have you heard of it? I said, I'm in hemp sales. He was like, oh.
Now, why the term hemp versus the term CBD?
Oh, I just said it.
Okay.
I could have easily in that moment said CBD.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
Great questions, Carrie. Thank you. Great questions.
I'm sure there's probably 50 more of them in my head. I just can't get out the time. So
well, I had asked for this because I was kind of hoping that we all would have about 50 more questions. I'm sitting silent a little bit over here because I asked for this only because I've been asking a lot of these questions, but I figured if I had them, so did everyone else. And to save Mandy a heap of time to say it all once rather than repeatedly to each of us individually. And because I know that, some of us had gotten a little bit to know her a little bit better, I'm more comfortable asking. So I just wanted everybody on this call to know how accessible she is and what an incredible resource she is. So to never ever feel shy about using it.
So I'm gonna have another question here. So coming from another company, and I had people in my funnel for that company, and they never fully went through the funnel. So they never ordered products or anything, but we've had conversations multiple times. Yeah. And now I've moved on. How would you reapproach that conversation or restart that conversation now that you've moved on? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I had this happen the other day.
I was literally just about to say, Kara, have you had this happen? I swear I was. Yeah. How did you handle it?
That's not allowed. I need you to pick that up.
I thought she was saying that wasn't allowed.
Entire
I thought she was saying
full of pennies in the floor.
I thought you were telling us that wasn't allowed, and I was like, okay.
No. So I had a lady that messaged me and she was like, which we had talked about her 4-year-old son who has ADHD for months on end. The grandmother had reached out to me. The mom had reached out to me separately. And I had sent them all of the kids' stuff with the other company and they never did anything with it. Well, last week, they both reached out to me separately on Easter Sunday. And so I just put them both in a group chat and I said, I'm putting you all both here because you both reached out separately and I can send you my wording, Carrie. I don't care at all. I just basically said, I am more than happy to help you in any way I can. I have changed companies and we do have products for kids. I would love to share those products with you and tell you how they work. But if you are still interested in the original products that we talked about, I'll be glad to refer you back to someone. And they ended up buying the products that we've got now. I don't know if I did it right, but she's been in my funnel for 6 months and she never did anything.
Okay. So this is the person who has, we've talked about kids products since last year sometime. And it was always, money's tight now, but I'm looking at this month, we're going to, do this and stuff like that. And every once she's like, just let me know about events or specials and stuff like that. Well, now that I've switched, I haven't reached back out to her necessarily. And I kind of want to, but I just I don't know if I should because she was, so geared towards those products at that time.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Where we get into the issue of like, can I reach out to this person where they may network? Am I cross recruiting? She was yours. She was your personal, I won't say recruit because she never signed up, but she's yours. She's your network. So I don't think there's anything slimy or scuzzy about going back to that person and saying, hey, I just wanted to let you know I've partnered. I love partnered. I've not joined,
I love
signed up.
partnered too.
Partnered is so professional. It's so good. It's like partnered verticals. I love these words we're using here at Q. We just sound like good business owners. Excuse me. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Going back to her and just saying, I just wanted you to be in the know. I've recently partnered with a new company. Whatever you want to say after that.
I like that. I want you to be in the know. I like that. Okay.
I do have a video to screen share with you guys. That's how I wanted to end our call. So are there any more questions before I share that? I want to get you pumped before I get you off this call.
I do have a question.
Hi,
So,
Amy.
hello. Good. I'm still in my pajamas. So I have a question because I have been with 2 previous companies. A lot of my network or friends are either with or were with. How do we approach that? I want to be very careful because I really had a not fun exit from my first company.
I know. I remember that exit.
Yeah, I cried.
You did everything the right way. It was not fun. Your story is my story. I have the same story, 2 previous companies. There's going to be so much interwoven, your networks and stuff like that. How do you approach it with the people that either are in that company still or were with that company? Is that what
I honestly don't even know if they are or are not, to be honest, because I'm
so a component of it will be consistency in your social media posting. There's your first component.
okay.
Continued social media presence. Second will be some investigation on your behalf. Will be if as people come to mind, as they come through your news feed, you might need to spend some time going to their pages to try to assess if they're still there or not. I don't think there is nothing wrong in this world with going to somebody who's in another company, as long as you are not under a non-solicitation, and saying to them, I have recently partnered with a company that is set to quadruple in the next few months, and I immediately thought of you. Do you still love the products at blank company? 2, are you still aligned with their mission? If the answer to the first question was yes, we're done. But if it's not, I would love to share more. And that's all you have to do. Because if they love the company's products and they're aligned with their mission, and I got that verbiage from Rich Higby, who used to be the president at my last company. I shouldn't have name dropped him. Don't share this recording. I shouldn't have name dropped him, but that's just sage wisdom from somebody who's been in the industry for a long time. But he said that, he said, just, do they love the product still? And are they still aligned with the mission? And if the answer to either, I said the first, but actually it's either. If the answer to either of those questions are yes, from a business perspective, we're done here. From a product perspective, Melissa's in a really unique position. She's still locked with Rodan and Fields. So she can have people who come in from a product perspective, and they are coming in by the masses who are her Rodan and Fields people, but they also want to be her Q people from a supplement perspective. But when she gets into business, should she have anyone approach her about business, the lines are going to be a little grayer, because if she personally sponsored them, we've gone all over all this. If she personally sponsored them, she can say whatever she wants. But if she didn't, then you have to be a little more careful.
Right.
So those are the long story short, those are super individualized scenarios.
Right.
Yeah.
One more quick question. I'm sorry. Does Q have a policy regarding being part of multiple companies?
I don't know. We'd have to ask Katie that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's just like everyone else, as long as it's not competing.
Well,
I
I
think
know, like-
it's like you can sell Pampered Chef and Q, but you can't sell two MLM network marketing companies that align with the same products. Like you couldn't do two hair care companies.
Okay.
I'm almost positive that's what it is.
I think you're right. I think that's correct.
Yeah, I think Melissa had to look into this a little bit.
Hey, I was going to share one thing that Mandy, that I had found helpful when I was doing like the newspaper business, when you were talking about follow-ups. There was something that my boss said one time, and I loved this lady, and she was phenomenal. And when I would come back to follow-ups with people like who hadn't responded, and I don't even know what the deal was, she said, Melissa, I want you to go back to those people and in the beginning say, hey, so-and-so or whatever, but you're about to give me a complex. And it took it back to them and said, I just wanted to make sure that I haven't, that I haven't, that there's possibly not something that I've not given you all the information that you need, or wanted to make sure, that I've given you everything possible to help you, blah, blah, blah. And 9 times out of 10, they always came back at least responding to me, because I left it kind of at them that, gosh, I thought maybe there was something I had done.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever, but anyway, the word was complex. So
I love that.
that people would respond very quickly.
That's an open-ended question right there.
And my guess is they would say, no, you haven't done anything.
Oh
Am I
gosh,
right?
girl, they came back every time. Oh my gosh, no, or I meant to, every time. And
Yeah.
Some things came of it, some things didn't, but they always responded.
Yeah. I love
So.
that. I love that.
Yeah,
You guys
it was
write
great.
that down. That's great. It reminds me of what we call the takeaway, when you've had like 12 conversations with somebody and you just take it away from them. You just say, hey, Susan, I just wanted to reach back out to you. The last thing I want to do is be a pest. It's clear that right now is not the best time for you, but I just want to let you know that I'm going to be here whenever you're ready. And 9 times out of 10, they come back and they just go, oh my gosh, I just don't have the money right now. And I just didn't want to tell you.
Right.
So they're embarrassed, but they come back and you get a response. It's very similar to that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's great, Melissa. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My political bestie is also in sales full time, and he calls that a breakup letter. I mean, you're not breaking up full time. You're just sort of putting a comma in your conversation, but leaving the door open to, hey,
Yep.
but I'd like to be able to circle back to you.
Circle back.
I saw you take that picture. We better be cute, Mandy King.
My pajamas. Come on.
Everybody smile. It's just for my stories. I'll probably get more from the recording.
I've been taking a bunch throughout anyway.
Yeah.
Kara's gonna. Kara. In fact, I have a whole reel just of Kara.
Of her what?
She turned herself off.
Y'all, I had to clean up a mess. I was like cleaning bathtubs, and now I'm eating,
Oh, that's so funny. I know we're past 2:00 for everybody. Hey, can I just add, I know when we're having fun, I don't know that this has it. First of all, Mandy, thank you for doing this. I've been taking notes fast and furious, and I just wanted to, give everybody clear-cut directions direct from you. I've been asking you personally because I want to do my personal best to invite to this call. This isn't just pivotal for us as a team and what we're going to look like in the eyes of the president, but this is an opportunity for all of us, especially those who, a lot of us who came in last month. We're looking at the final week of our bonus qualifications. But for those of you who just stepped in this month, what you're going to do today and who you're going to invite today is going to apply to what you're going to be able to do next month in ranking up and getting all of your fast start bonuses as well. And to that end, I guess my concluding statement, it's not a direct relation to what we discussed here today, but it's really what got downloaded on my heart when you were talking about, sort of the hard stats to position into our invites. hey, we quadrupled in business last year and we are poised to quadruple in business in the next 5 months. Those are simply, I'm going to say this as pointedly, but with as much, I hope everybody knows my personality and hears my heart, as pointedly, but as directly as I can. Those are simply words on a page that are in fact true about the company. So I guess the question you have to add on that is, yes, our company is going to quadruple in business in the next 5 months. Are you? Our company is, but that doesn't mean that each of us individually are. And that's a responsibility that we have to ourselves as individual business owners. I just wanted to leave that out there.
I love that. And it brings up the issue of, people talk about momentum all the time. Momentum. There's personal momentum, there's team momentum, and there's company momentum. You can create, I don't care what you say, you can create personal momentum anytime you want. Anytime you want, that's up to you. You can create team momentum. And momentum for you might be 2 customers instead of 1. It might be 5 instead of 4. It might be 20 instead of 15. But that's personal momentum. You can do that anytime you want. Fran talks all the time about going on like 30, 60, 90-day runs. I do that. And then there's team momentum. That's what we're striving for. That's the purpose of this call. That's what this team is working for. Do we already have momentum? In a sense, yes, but we can up it. We can up it. Everybody's doing an amazing job. But I also hear from everybody every day, and we talk about, I'm in these conversations. Well, what are we going to do to close those conversations? So we're on the cusp of some really great team momentum. The company momentum is what's coming. And like Ola said, there's a really important differentiation there to, see the differences between those 3. So you can create your own personal momentum. I've watched Kara do it, blown my mind. You can create your own personal momentum. Team momentum is up to us. Company momentum is going to happen no matter what. How much of that will we play a role in? With that, I'm going to stop recording.